Welcome to the heart and soul of outdoors radio. It's the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. In our 11th season, we continue to share facts and give advice on the great outdoors, where we never let the lack of facts come between us and a good story. Guys who are dedicated to helping you become a better outdoorsman. Your host, Gary McCoy, who's no stranger to the radio world or the outdoors, with a CMA to his credit for best personality. A well-accomplished outdoorsman who loves the thrill of taking a big buck or putting a bass in the live well. Mike Eccles, born and raised in Louisiana, who's fished and hunted his entire life and continues to chase ducks in the backwaters and pull bass off cypress trees. And the Boss Tournament trail director who runs the best team circuit in Louisiana. Steve Graff, raised in the woods and waterways of East Texas, a former Northwestern State two-sport athlete and tournament angler who continues to strive for big bass and winning stringers. And last but not least, Jay Watley, the brains and producer of the show who pushes all the right buttons, a man with unmatched talent who excels in making these guys look good and this show sound great. Now let's jump off the front deck and make the first cast with the boys who know it all, Gary, Steve, Mike, and Jay.
We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30 The Tiger. It's Gary McCoy, the old Ranger to Iowa pro staffer Steve Graff in the house.
Yep.
And no Mike Eccles again this week. Where is he this week?
He should be on a plane right now headed back to Shreveport.
Okay.
Yeah, this is today, the day they come home.
Do they have their tournament tomorrow night? Are they on Cross Lake tomorrow night?
Bass Cash, was it
Bass Cash
Splash?
Splash?
Yeah.
Cross Lake, Landers Ram.
I don't know that.
I get messed up on all of those.
I might can look that up here and have you some information on that.
Of course, we have we God love him, little Jaybird's here. And he's got a porn stash now. The beard's gone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But you look like you know.
It's actually a poisonous Ethiopian caterpillar. It looks like a mustache. I know. I get it.
I'm thinking to myself, all you need is one of those feathery, looking felt hats with a big, feather in the back of it.
I'd have it going on. It's funny, actually. My oldest daughter had been asking me to shave my beard.
Yeah.
She hates it.
Yeah.
So I told her this was late last night. It was like at 10 o'clock at night. Way too late to shave a face.
Yeah.
But I told her, I said, baby, I'll go do it right now if I have to. So I went and shaved, and I thought it would be a prank on her, if I just shaved everything but left just the nastiest, biggest mustache.
Yeah.
And she was furious.
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she was so mad about it. And I said, it's fine. Just go to sleep. I'll wake up tomorrow and shave it. And I woke up late today. So I at least have one day with it. I'm kind of getting attached to it, though.
No, don't.
Now, see, it would take me a year to grow what Jay's got.
Oh,
right
yeah,
now.
without a doubt.
I could never do
He
that.
can shave it off and have it back by the weekend.
Exactly.
It's nice. Flavor catcher.
You know what? Now, you guys have daughters.
Yep.
See, I was never blessed. God didn't love me very much. I didn't get that baby girl.
Oh, I think he loved you just fine.
No.
Yeah. Every man should have a daughter, I'm telling you.
Okay, now here's my question for both of you. Because y'all are both manly men. Has your daughter ever painted your toenails?
No, that didn't happen.
That did not happen?
No, it never happened.
Fingernails?
Nope,
Okay.
never happened.
Do you ever get curlers in your hair?
No, didn't do that either.
All right, Jay.
Fingernails. Yeah. I'm busted on that one.
Yeah, my daughters never
But
were
when they-
really into that.
Yeah.
Okay.
When they ask, you got to do it.
Yeah.
Oh,
You
yeah.
got to know where the remover's at,
Yeah.
and just take it.
And remember to get it off before you go out in public.
Now,
Absolutely.
I probably wouldn't have told my daughters no had they asked.
I got my ears pierced for my oldest daughter.
Now that I would probably draw the line.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
I'd have to go. Okay, we got an incredible show for you. In spite of the fact that Eccles is not here this week, our Facebook spotlights, our sponsor spotlight this week, Daiwa Samurai Braid.
Yep.
I've gotten to the point because we've got some of the 40-pound Samurai Braid
Right.
that Daiwa sent us, and I've gotten to the point to where I like to throw not only my frog on there,
Oh, yeah.
but I'll throw the whopper plopper,
Yep.
fishing that. I'll throw a chatterbait, fishing that Daiwa Samurai Braid.
Yeah.
Especially the new jackhammer. You got $20 tied up in the bait. You won't be able to get it.
You don't want to lose it in jackhammers.
No, dude.
I promise you.
But you know what? Now, even in what's relatively clear water, I don't know if you passed across the Red River today, but the Red even is relatively clear right now.
For the red? So you can see a foot now.
Well, maybe a foot and a half.
Okay.
But, you can get away with that 40-pound Daiwa braid, even in relatively clear water.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So if you're going to be in an environment like that, then that would really, really be able to help you out. And we've got some great info on our Facebook page all about that. We've got some really cool stuff going on. In fact, earlier this morning at 5:20, they started the launch of the National High School Fishing Championships on Lake Pickwick in northern Alabama. Yep. And Chris Nesbitt from Bellevue Meat Processing is actually there. His son, Matthew, and Trip Bowman are just one team of a number that qualified locally that are there fishing in this. I think Chris said that they had 384 boats that launched this morning.
And what an awesome place to go out of. Florence, Alabama, it's a great place. Pickwick is a great fishery.
Well, we're going to find out from Chris, what it's like to, have a student, your own child that's competing.
A parent's perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Now tell me, had fishing been available when you were in high school, would you trade your baseball, football experience? Because the odds of going professional in baseball, football, basketball, something like that, probably a lot less than the odds of a young fisherman taking it all the way to a professional career.
But I think what's happening now with the explosion of bass fishing on the high school level, it's made it that much more difficult for a youngster to make it as a pro.
Really?
Because the competition is so much greater now.
Okay, gotcha.
The more people you got competing, the harder it is. So to make it on that level.
I want to find out how much, how parents are, softball, baseball parents, basketball parents are.
Do I?
I want to know, are fishing parents the same way? I mean, is somebody hollering foul or,
Oh, yeah, it goes on at every single event.
I just want to know, do parents get involved in that?
My little Johnny got cut off by little Tommy over there.
So-and-so had somebody sitting on their hole for them.
Well, here's the biggest complaint, believe it or not.
What?
Boat captains.
Really?
Yep. Not knowing the rules of the water.
Wow.
And there are some boat captains that have gone so far as to actually catch fish and put them in a live well for their team.
I saw something yesterday, and I don't know if it's in the rules or not. I know that if it had been in Mike Eccles' boss tournament, these guys broke the rules.
Yeah.
I was watching the National Collegiate Championship to rerun yesterday on the Pursuit Channel, and it was also on Pickwick.
Yeah.
Okay? Boys already had a limit of 5 fish. They caught the 6th fish. Guy is in the back of the boat, and he's trying to decide which one they're going to cull. Boy on the front boat now brings in the 7th fish into the boat. It's on TV.
Yeah.
Nobody, anywhere, nobody said nothing. No violation, no nothing. Now, they didn't win the tournament.
Right.
But in my estimation, the minute that he made a cast, then he was in violation of the rules.
Yeah. Now,
while the 6th fish was in the boat.
Cameramen are not allowed to bring that to their attention.
Oh, no.
They're just an invisible person in a boat.
But the point that I'm making is there it was on national TV.
Yeah.
He had 6 fish in the boat. He's culling one, obviously.
Right.
But the boy on the front of the boat continued to fish, caught another fish, and now the 7th fish is in the boat.
Right.
And that was...
Even though they're in the process of culling, it's still a violation.
It's still a violation.
So, but I bet they didn't think twice about it.
No.
I bet they didn't even realize that they had violated a rule.
I don't know at some point, if maybe that was caught up on, but, you would have thought that had everybody been paying attention like I was, they'd have said, obviously these young men are in violation of the rules.
Yeah.
Something along those lines.
It's probably something that was done behind the scenes. Hey, come here.
Well, I want to say the boys wound up like 2nd or 3rd in the tournament. Yeah. But it was a true violation.
Right.
Also on today's show, we are going back to Lake Fork. Lake Fork report from Johnny Geis. Hopefully he's got some good news for us because, earlier he was like, man, these fish just have not started that summer bite yet. J&J specialist Randy Farrer is going to be on the show. Termites. Formosa termites.
Bad.
They're
on their way north as we speak.
Bad.
They're coming from South Louisiana, headed up this way.
And if you have ever had any kind of a termite outbreak, this is something that you need to take care of. J&J obviously is in that business.
Right.
And Randy's going to tell us, what are some things to be looking for
Right.
What are some things that you need to get done now ahead of that, to
Well,
be proactive?
Not just for your home, but I got to thinking.
Deer stands.
A lot of guys neglect their camps this time of year. It's
just
in the back of their mind.
Yeah, just your deer stand.
Yeah, yeah.
You get ready to go. You get ready to go up there, and you're going to spray for wasps and everything. And you step on that first step, getting up into your deer
And it's
stand.
powder.
Gone.
Yeah, it's powder.
Hey, I'm talking about, somebody could wind up really, really hurt out of this.
Ain't no doubt.
5 mistakes that deer hunters make in the summertime,
Yep.
and 3 things all deer hunters should do right now.
Right.
Don't wait.
We're going to cover that, too.
That's coming up on the show. Outdoor Outlaws. How long has it been? We haven't had Outdoor Outlaws in
I know, probably
a couple of months. Yeah.
At least a month.
So we're going to run through some of those things. The Elite Series results from the Mississippi River.
Yeah, Ish Monroe pulled out a win at and I followed Bassmaster Live a lot, and especially on the day of the finals and the day before. The final 2 days, I usually watch it a lot. Well, Ish kind of was hanging in that 6th spot most.
But he was moving up every day.
He was moving up every day, but he hung in that 5th or 6th spot. You
Yeah.
know. And he wasn't progressing, and all of a sudden, it was a surprise when he actually came in with what he came, because they didn't have him estimated that high. They thought he had like 14 pounds. Turns out he had 16 pounds, 2 ounces on the final day. And Jacob Porosnik, who they followed a lot that day, thinking he had won the tournament, and Ish didn't get near the airtime that Jacob Porosnik got. And by the way, Jacob's sponsored by V&M. They're the top sponsor for him, and he's on their main pro staff. So Jacob Porosnik finished second, and with 64-12. Ish won it with 65-7.
And his was on a frog.
He caught, the majority of his were on the frog. Yep.
And it was some kind of a frog he had helped design.
Well, he actually ended up going. I know Jacob was throwing 2 or 3 different kind of frogs. He ended up with a Spro frog because it was smaller. Spro makes a big frog and a little frog. And that smaller Spro frog was the one he said, I'm matching the hatch. They showed frog on top of that green matted stuff, and it was a small frog. He said, that's what they're eating.
And Ish went totally the opposite. He went to a huge
frog.
frog.
He's looking for that big bite,
Right.
especially on the final day.
Well, I think that the type of vegetation he was in was a little bit thicker, and he was looking for something that was bigger, had a bigger profile,
Right,
heavier, something
yeah.
that would move that stuff, and fish could find it
Right.
up under that vegetation a lot better.
Randall Tharp, guy we've had on the show, Randall finished third. He had 60.
I thought he was going to win it.
Yeah, he was right there. And here's a guy this is the 3rd tournament I've seen his name up there. And every time I see Gerald, of course, I always think Swindle, but this is a new guy that's come on board, and he's been at the top of the leaderboard several times already this year. Gerald Sproer.
Yes.
He has been up there several times, and he finished 4th with 64 pounds even. And Jacob Wheeler, one of the up-and-coming young great anglers coming up, he finished 5th, 62-3. Keith Poche.
He's having a great year.
He's having a real good year.
Especially with Major League Fishing and all
Yep.
the other stuff that he's been involved with here lately.
Cliff Pace, the half owner of V&M, also finished 7th. Aaron Martins finished 8th. Casey Ashley was 9th. Gary Klein, the legend, was 10th. So congratulations to all. Also, real quick, before we take a quick break, hurricane season outlook. Somebody trying to call me. Give me a hurricane forecast. Here it is. Named storms 10 to 16 this year, which means you talked about a while ago. So far, I don't think we've had a hurricane storm yet.
No.
5 to 9 hurricanes. Major hurricanes are projecting 1 to 4. So, as far as this type of season, 40% type is a normal type of season, what they're expecting. 35% think it'll be above normal, and 25% say it'll be below normal. So, take your pick.
I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not wishing for hurricanes or anything
No,
like that. But,
no.
but if we don't get some rain soon, we are going to be right back into that 2006,
Yep.
2010 era of the drought.
I watched a tournament on Toledo Bend in 03 the other
Yeah.
day on my iPad.
Yeah.
The lake was 8 foot low.
Oh, yeah.
There was stumps. It looked like a forest out there again. I'm like, boy, that's old.
Sit tight. We're going to talk to Chris Nesbitt. He is at Lake Pickwick with the High School National Championship. That's next. Hooking up, tracking down, 11:30. The Tiger.
Hook It Up and Tracking Down show, proud to be associated with our fine sponsors, Toledo Town and Tackle, Daiwa Samurai Braid, J&J Exterminating, and Vietnam Baits. Making baits that do one thing, put fish in your live well. Now back to the guys who love to throw Vietnam baits, Gary and Steve.
Hey, and I also want to remind you about the big CCA Star Tournament. Check that out, ccastar.com. If you are headed at all to South Louisiana, don't be that guy.
No, please.
There are trucks and boats and all kinds of cash prizes swimming around in the Gulf of Mexico.
Exactly.
And if you have not paid your entry fee and you catch one of those tagged redfish, I'm telling you right now,
dude,
it would just it would probably take that wonderful feeling you just got of catching that really nice redfish to the oh my God factor.
Exactly.
In like Mach 3.
Yeah.
You'd go that fast. Protecting our coastal frontage and waterways all across Louisiana. It's CCA, leading the way in coastal restoration like the Floating Island Project. Sponsoring the tournaments like the CCA Star, Ride the Bull, fighting the fight for waterway access issues. And they are in the middle of a big humdinger right now, trying to get us access in the southern part of Louisiana, and hopefully, through their efforts, we might eventually be able to see where BASS, FLW, some of them would return to the South Louisiana area. Because of those issues, they've said, hey, we're done. We're done. We can't have our anglers in harm's way. We can't go through all these legal hoops and everything along those lines. We don't know what's accessible, what's not accessible.
I got a feeling it's going to be drug out, though, Gary, for years to come.
Well, and that's the need to join CCA, because your membership helps to fund that legal battle. Just go to ccalouisiana.com to learn more. Become a member today. And another thing that I want to remind you is this part of the show brought to you by Johnny Geist, Lake Fork Guide Johnny Geist, Despino Jim South Tire, and Paul's Farm and Garden. For all your gardening needs, from fertilizer to plant food, go see the guys, Paul's Farm and Garden. Chris Nesbitt from Bellevue Meat Processing on the phone with us right now. And Chris, this has got to be a neat perspective for you, because you're not the athlete right now. You're the daddy of one of the athletes.
That's right, Gary. I'm actually not even the boater. They're out there fishing right now. Matthew, my son, and his partner Trip Bowman, and then Trip's daddy's actually boating them, and that boats them most of the season. But yeah, the kids learned it on their own. I think you had Matthew and Trip on the show earlier in the year when they won the Ouachita River FLW Open back in October last year.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And I think you asked Matthew. You said, Matthew, what did your daddy teach you about fishing, or what did he teach you? And Matthew said, Mr. Gary, he didn't teach me nothing about fishing. And I told him, I said, you threw me under the bus, son. I said, you could have done a little better than that. He said, well, it's the truth, Daddy, and actually it is. Bass fishing to him is something he picked up on his own. I catch that kid watching YouTube videos, and he's watching it about some bait swimming across the water, or he's watching some college angler, or he's watching some pro or somebody's blog. I mean, and it's all good stuff that he's watching and he's learning. And him and his buddy, they've just picked up on it and run with it. This is their second year to qualify and make it here to Lake Pickwick for the national championship. And it's a big deal. There's 384 boaters went out this morning, or boats went out this morning. It's 760-something kids that showed up in this little town to go out, and they do a good job of it. It's a real cool experience. They start out with national anthem and the prayer, and
see that's stop right there. Tell me this. Let's just say that Matthew and Tripp were playing in the national high school championship. You think there'd have been a prayer?
Well, I'd like for there to have been one. I don't know.
Yeah, but you think about it. Let's just say that they were in the national football championship.
Yeah.
Is there going to be, in all likelihood, no.
There'd be a prayer in the locker room as far as it's going.
But in the world of fishing, we still remember those little things. The national anthem. How many boys were taking a knee out there?
I had a waitress this morning after we sent them off this morning. We went and got a bite to eat, and I had a waitress in a little cafe tell me that she went fishing the other day, and it was during one of the collegiate championships or something that was out here on Pickwick, and she told me that the national anthem started playing over the speaker, and she said all chest out, hand over their heart, and she said it just brought her to tears. So.
Wow.
Now I will say this: I love Leanne Rhymes, but she has the longest version of the national anthem I've ever heard. It will put you to sleep on the front deck of a boat.
Yeah.
It drives me nuts. I'm like, oh my gosh.
There are other versions.
There are other versions out there.
So you're there with Matthew. Now, our preacher's son, Jeb Spinney, and
Jeff qualified. Him and his partner, the Wagner boy, Matthew Wagner, qualified at the state championship on Cross Lake. I think they were one of the teams to qualify. I can't remember what place they got, but they were one of the teams to qualify. So they're here. We brought 2 teams last year from Halton, and we brought 6 teams this year.
Wow.
So we're doing better. All the local schools. We've got a good showing from North Louisiana.
Who else there that you know of? As far as local schools that are represented. North DeSoto's there, I know.
The Captain
Sure,
Shreve.
you got North DeSoto, you've got Captain Shreve, you've got Loyola, I believe, you've got Parkway, you've got Benton. You've got Halton. There's just a big tournament. Even our local weekend tournaments there in town. I know Mike's not there, but he could tell you. There's 80 boats sometimes, 90, 100 boats that show up at some of those championship tournaments, stuff like that. I mean, it's a big deal, and there's a lot of kids involved. They've got over $150,000 worth of scholarships and prizes they're going to give out this week.
Wow!
By the end of the week.
Yeah, that's
now, which national championship is this? Because Steve and I were talking. There's like a couple of them. Which one is this?
Is this TBF?
I hope I get all these acronyms right, but it's a part of the Student Angler Federation, which is sponsored by the FLW.
Yeah.
And they put it on, and they do a fantastic job. But if I remember the director telling me right, they started this in 2010, went to ICAST and tried to get some sponsorships, and didn't get anybody to help them with it. So they started up on their own in 2010, and I think they had a championship with like 30 teams or something to start with, and now we've got 384 teams here now.
That's insane.
And it's just really grown and blown up.
So as far as the boys, this is one of those sports where mom and dad pretty much got to shoulder the expense completely, isn't it?
It is, and but I'll tell you one good thing about this. It cost them $25 at the end of the season to become a member of the Student Angler Federation. I think I'm saying that right, or the FLW.
SAF.
And so it costs them $25. After that, every tournament that they fish, there's no tournament entry fee.
Right.
All the FLW opens are free to them. Even this national championship is free to them.
Yeah.
Of course, we got the expense of staying here for a week and eating out and running up and down the river and all that. And of course, you probably saw some people in town raising money to help with gas money and stuff like that locally. We did some raffle tickets and some things like that to help. But to be honest, it's not as expensive as, well, other than keeping a boat up, it's not as expensive as baseball. It's not, travel baseball and some of those other things that we've done with kids over the years. My son, the youngest boy that rodeos, that's expensive, the traveling expenses we incurred with that. So, but this is, it's $25 and you can join and and some sports just not for, football, baseball, just not for everybody. And I think it's a niche that some kids that maybe aren't big enough to play football, aren't fast enough to do this or that can go out there and fish. We got a little old kid from Doline that's on our Halton team, and I can't remember exactly what fish he caught, but he caught almost 11-pounder on Hato this year.
Wow!
I think he's I think he's in the 8th grade or something. But if you're an 8th grader, you can fish with a high schooler, and they're here at this championship. They qualified through through the state championship.
Wow!
But anyway, it's a good deal, and they have put together this is the national championship which you qualify for, and then they also allow anybody in the federation to come if they want to and fish for, they call it the World Championship. So that's why you have 380 something boats here.
Chris, what are they fishing for? Scholarship money?
Yeah, he said $150,000.
Is it $150,000?
Yeah, total.
Distributed among a bunch of anglers.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's right.
What's first place?
But first 3 or 4 places are scholarships, and we're talking about $1,000 scholarships to each angler to certain colleges. I think Bethel College is,
Bethel,
yeah, the big fishing colleges up north, I guess, or up this direction are the main ones. But there's about 3 or 4 colleges give out scholarships to them. I want to say there's a $10,000 scholarship offered. The kids kind of get a choice, I believe, of which scholarship they want. It's usually given out to junior and senior group, or junior and seniors only. In that you don't want to give it out to a freshman right now. They give it
Chris,
out to the older kids.
I got one last question, because you were a football player.
Sure.
Go back to your days in high school. If fishing was available back then, and you'd been a fisherman, would you trade your football days and the camaraderie and the fellowship and the friendships that you made playing football? Would you trade that for a fishing career, if you will, back in high school?
No, he never would have gotten Carl if he'd have done that.
That's not fair. Fortunately, Matthew, he does both. He plays high school football and he fishes. And the way the season works out, he can do both. It works out just fine. Weekend tournaments don't affect the football. It really has worked out real well for him. That's something. Now the kid, I can't get him to get a job because he can't find time to work. But he's
No, wait a minute. I have seen that boy at Bellevue busting his hump in the fall.
He will. He's trying to work seasonally, and he does. He puts some hours in that time of year. I'm talking about this time of year.
Okay, now listen. I think you can. Can you not watch? I'm pretty sure that they're streaming the weigh-in live starting here at about 1:30 this afternoon. Highschoolfishing.org. If you'll go to that Facebook page or website, highschoolfishing.org, it's got a play button, and you can watch the weigh-ins live every day, and it'll be going on today. Is it a 3-day tournament or 2-day?
4-day.
4 days.
Wednesday,
Thursday, Friday,
and
Saturday.
This is awesome.
How's the temperature up there?
Man, I thought we were going to run into some cool weather, but it is hot. It is hot.
4 days of that. It's grueling for 4 days.
Oh, it is. We pre-fished for 2.5 days.
Oh, wow. Man.
And let me tell you, I had my biggest smallmouth I ever had on a line pre-fishing with Matthew. Told him to get the net, told him to get the net, told him to get the net 3 times as I'm bringing that fish up to the boat. Probably about 3.5, 4 pound smallmouth. It balled. It was, man, I ain't never caught a fish like that. Hey, and I'll be darned if that kid said, just pick it up and put it in the boat, Daddy. And I lost it right there at the edge.
No.
Oh, my God. And then he tells me, he said, well, I probably should have let you use that other rod. That one's too stiff. That's probably why you lost it.
Hey, you wish those boys good luck for us. We're praying that everybody, gets back home safely, and it would be awesome if we brought back some gold from Lake Pickwick.
We would. I'm telling you, we've got a good representation here from North Louisiana, and I'm pretty certain you're going to have somebody from North Louisiana that's going to come back in the top 10.
That's awesome.
We've got out of 384, that's a pretty good accomplishment.
Thank you, Chris.
So I appreciate y'all having me on. Thank y'all.
Hey, brother, we appreciate it.
Good luck.
Hug Carla for us. We are hooking up and tracking down 11:30, the Tiger.
Check out our website for news and info that's sure to make you a better outdoorsman. HUTDshow.com. This segment presented by Nichols Department Stores, Groove Fishing, Toledo Fiberglass, and K2 Coolers. Great coolers, affordable price, made right here in Louisiana. Once again, here's Steve and Gary.
Hey guys, it's about that time. Holy Angels Bass Tournament, 5th annual Fishing for Angels.
5 years now?
Yeah, it's been 5 years. Yeah.
Wow.
And August 25th, out of Red River South Marina, $5,000 first place guaranteed. All proceeds benefit the residents of Holy Angels. It's a scramble format. Lakes include Black Lake, Caddo, Grand Bayou, Bistineau, Red River, Toledo Bend, or Cross Lake. First cast 6:30, must be in weigh-in line by 3 at Red River South Marina. Registration Thursday, August 23rd, and Friday the 24th, from noon until 8 each day at Red River South Marina, and at least one guy needs to make sure you're there to register. So,
Billy Phipps.
Billy
Phipps. You see what Billy Phipps just
I
did?
see what little Pizza Hut in
And
there.
yeah, we got a story to read. We got a letter.
Yeah.
Billy sent us a letter.
Yeah.
We got to read that.
And it wasn't necessarily about us.
No,
It
but
was
we're
about
going to
somebody
read
else.
that a little bit later in the show. But Billy sent us pizza.
Yeah, it did. Thank you, Billy.
Golly, he does this regularly.
Yeah. You can tell by looking at us.
It's hard to eat pizza when you're talking to Johnny Geist. Johnny, have you had lunch yet?
Not yet. I'm just waiting to get this done, and I'm about to get something to eat, man.
I know where you could find some pizza, brother.
Would they deliver pizza to you on the lake, Johnny, you think?
Well, wouldn't that be neat if you had a pizza delivered?
Oh, I'm telling you.
I bet you he could pull up at the boat ramp and somebody would deliver it to him right there. Just tell him, hey, I'm right here by the launch at there at Lake Fork Marina or something like that.
Gary, there's a business out there for us.
See,
Lake Fork is a business for
hey,
us.
you know what? Hey, Johnny, think about this. What if there was a little houseboat that traveled around there on Lake Fork, and it had like a grill and stuff in it, could cook you a hamburger and some French fries, right there out on the water?
That has actually happened before several years back, and it lasted a couple months during the summer. But, I mean, you could just pull right up to it, get you a hamburger, cheeseburger, fries, and sit on. I think it was a big, giant pontoon boat or something like that, if I can remember right. But, I mean, it was pretty neat. You just pulled up there and got you something to eat, cold drink, went on back fishing.
Amen. Okay, now speaking of the fishing, have the big ones turned it on yet out there in your deep water holes?
Well, you'll catch some big ones every other day. I wouldn't say it's where I'd like to see it yet, but I finally gave up the other day. Decided I'd go crappie fishing for a while, and in about 10 minutes, I had a 6.5 pounder beat down with 6 pound line and landed it.
Wow.
And, that's telling me why I'm not catching my fish out deep. They're still in 18, 20 foot of water around the brush, and when I check the 26 to 30, 32 foot where they normally get in, they just still haven't moved out there yet. So they're mid-range still, but you can still catch some good ones.
What seems to be is the number of years you've done this, what seems to be the magic? Is it water temperature? Is it moon phase? Is it boat activity? What seems to be the magic thing that winds up putting those fish out there in those spots, schooled up really good, where this is a spot they're supposed to be?
I think it's usually because they have their normal spawn, and by then they've already finished up with post spawn. The brim kind of finished up spawning a little bit, but everything seemed to run 3 or 4 weeks late this year. We get it done each full moon. Even into May, we had some fish still trying to nest up a little bit, and it just water temperature got hot there for a little while in May, then it cooled back down, and so it's just weird, and I wish I could put my finger on it, but you fish the moment, and if they're not working like that, I got to change and go back to fishing drop shots. And, I tell you what's working pretty good right now, just a 3/4 ounce to 1 ounce football jig, and just drag it like a Carolina rig. You can get bit by some pretty good fish.
Now, you throwing a lizard behind that, Johnny, or a trick worm? What are you throwing?
No, on the big 1 ounce football jig, you just get you one of those little B&M junior chunks and drag it, and it imitates the brim as well as the crawfish. But when you drag that thing along, we're kind of catching them on the hard spots, shell beds. There's a lot of places when you drive around Fork, you see a bunch of white mussel shells blown up against the bank. Well, those are the dead shells that they've already finished up. But somewhere out there in that 12 to 15, 18 foot of water, there's some live mussel shells, and when you hit one of those spots, you really feel it with either a 1 ounce Carolina weight or that football jig. But those are the feeding areas right now, and that seems to be where a lot of people are catching big ones. And it's not to me, it's not a good where I use my perch area as much, but you have to cast a lot and just regular old fishing, and that nothing wrong with that at all.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the perch thing, John. We've talked about this a little bit in the past, but really hadn't gotten specific on it. The size of the brim that you're catching, what have you found to be the best size for the brim? We've had some as big as our hand that me and Gary have used with you before, and I was in shock that we would use something that big. Or do you do better with the 3 and 4 inch?
I usually kind of target 3 or 4 inch. If you get a bigger one, I like the females. They're not quite as big as the males, and you can catch one a bass about hand size. The bigger ones last longer, and they're a little more active, and it will trigger some bites. But a 4.5 pounder kind of chokes on it a little bit, and it's a little bit harder to get them hooked regularly. But you get a 3 or 4 inch one that's a good fresh brim, and North Carolina rig, you'll get bit pretty easy on that.
Yeah.
And usually it's a quick hook set with that. You don't have to do nothing but tighten up a little bit, pull through them.
Are you starting to see your white bass still?
No, that's a mystery to me. I guess I'm going to have to get me a Lake Tawakoni guy to come over here and show me how to use that flasher prop a little better or something. But these things go in a hiatus. I don't know where they've done that. This is the second year in a row. They kind of disappeared. Well, third year in a row they disappeared. And this year it was even a week earlier. I mean, go from one day where you can catch white bass in 8 or 10 different spots, and I'm talking about 50 to 100, depending on what you want to do. You'd actually get bored catching them. But the next day they're gone. And don't think I hadn't looked at it. I have burned a mini tank of gas and a lot of hours, not with customers, but just out scouting and trying to graph and trying to figure out what do they do. If they went shallow, as many people as we got fishing everything, somebody'd say, hey, I found a bunch of white bass. So they've got to suspend. They got to be out in the timber somewhere. And that we've got so much of that 40, 45-foot water that's covered in timber. Mm-hmm. My theory is they're probably out in the tops of that, and they're really hard to graph that way. If they don't come up to the surface, they could sit out there and not have a boat throw on them all year. And I think they figured that out.
Well, with it being 100-degree afternoons and it's in the middle of the week, I mean, now, granted, Lake Fork, probably one of the most pressured lakes in the whole South. Yeah. Do you have a lot of competition for these spots, on a Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah, people GPS your spots for you?
Well, there's not a secret spot anymore on Lake Fork. I mean, the last probably 2 or 3 years when the electronics have improved and got even a little better, the mapping aspect of it, when you color shade your Lake Master map on Humminbird, it will draw you right to the area where they're supposed to be, and it's just a matter of graphing around there. Now you put your down skin, there's all the dots all bunched up, and you're going to catch fish. And so many people now are riding around graphing all day. I saw a guy run slap into a tree the other day. He had his head buried. He had his head buried in his graph, and somebody said, "Look at that guy. He's gonna hit that tree." And I said, "Oh, here for that." I mean, a big old bushy tree, and he crunched his Ranger. I mean, it almost got stuck between several of the limbs on it. Kind of embarrassed him a little bit. He kind of pulled out of there, and I said, "I wonder if he found that brush pile he just run into."
That's hilarious.
The things you see on the lake, buddy.
that same day, I mean, it was on a Saturday, and that had just happened, and we're just dying laughing. The guy got so embarrassed, he cranked up pretty quick and left. And then here comes a guy and his wife in a pontoon boat, and they saw 3 boats kind of in the general area. Next thing you know, they're dropping an anchor, and it's drifting. And when they finally get it slowed up, they looked up, and they're 10 feet in front of me, and I said, "Are y'all having a good morning?" But he apologized, picked up his rope, tried again. But, it's best to come to Lake Fork, but if you want to minimize the pressure, is come during the week. And but to answer your original question, though, do the spots catch a little bit of pressure? Yes, they do, and it doesn't really hurt because it's a timing deal. We might check the spot 3 times a day, and that 4th time that you come by there, they moved up and they're feeding. So you just have to do it and try to figure out. But they're getting close to that major feeding period again, and I'm watching that shoulder table. And Steve, you saw that happen first time.
Yep.
First time, one time in 3:30, I think we had 3 fish go on off when my alarm was going off on
Yep,
the phone. So
exactly. We had 3 people hooked up at one time.
So, Johnny, is this a time of the year that that you would say, hey, this is when you want to be in the boat with Johnny Guys?
Yeah, I think consistency. If you really want to catch a personal best, and I'm talking to somebody that hadn't caught one over 8 pounds, it's a little bit harder to consistently get one over 8 every day. But usually during the week, we'll get an 8 or 9 pounder. We only got one 10.5 this year, but you never know when that's going to happen on Lake Fork. I saw a post on one of my guide buddies just 3 days ago, and he finished up with a half day, decided to go back out and scout, and then 30 minutes later he checked the spot and he caught a 10.5 pounder himself. So you never know when it's going to happen. They're out there.
Well, my first trip, Gary, with me and you.
Your personal best.
Well, I told him. He said, "What you want?" I said, "I want to catch my personal best today. It needs to be over 8." First fish we put in the boat was what? Personal best.
Yeah.
863.
That was on a community hole called Bell Hump, and I fished it 2 weeks ago with a young man that's 18 years old. And I mean, I started out by showing him what we're going to do, how we're going to do it, why we're going to do it, how to set the hook. Gave him the rod. I said, push the button, let it hit the bottom. He picked it up. He said, something's on it. And I said, go ahead and set the hook. 8 pounds, 10 ounces. I mean, the first drop of the morning, you talking about taking the pressure off the guys.
Or really put it on you, because now you got to try to beat that.
Well, that gets tougher, but they start coming back then.
Amen.
The guy that caught the 10.5, Jeff Walls, he's betting up there around you guys. And he's been back already again trying. And we're trying to get incrementally up to 11 or 12 pounds. And it'll take a little while to do it, but you catch the right weather pattern. Today it's clear bluebird, and we've had some little afternoon spotty, almost storms. It's storming all around. It's not raining much, but day after that, it's not too conducive to catching a bite. But another day, the clouds will pile back in, and they'll be biting consistent. Late afternoon seems to be better. You just usually burned out if you start, a full day to fish late afternoon. It's probably better to start 2 or 3 o'clock or even 4 o'clock and fish till 8 or 8:30 on a half day. That's probably the target window to really get bit. But
Right.
So, Johnny, what's the best way if somebody's wanting to catch their personal best? Lake Fork, obviously, the great place to go. Johnny Geist, there is no question. There is no better than Johnny Geist. How does somebody get in the boat with Johnny?
I usually just book it off the telephone, and I got here 972 number 972-800-3882. That area code again is 972-800-3882. My website's easy to remember. It's just lakeforkbigfish.com. And then I do post on Facebook pages every day. We're going to Lake Welch in the morning, and the last few trips over there, we've had 30 to 50 bass by noon. So I'll have some pictures tomorrow of that. So looking forward to fishing the hot water lake, and they're pumping fresh water into it right now. And boy, when that happens, they really turn on over there.
My phone didn't ring. I was thinking, at any point, Johnny's going to call us and he's going to say, all right, let's
y'all meet me at Welsh.
Johnny, guys, thank you, brother. Hey, y'all have a great afternoon. I know you're probably headed up to the restaurant now to get one of those big cheeseburgers.
I sure am. Thank y'all so much, guys. Y'all have a good one.
All right, brother.
Johnny.
LakeForkBigFish.com. Check him out, Johnny Geist, also on Facebook, and you can find his phone number, everything there. Get in a boat with him. I'm telling you, it's a trip of a lifetime. Hook it up and track it down, 11:30, the Tiger.
Make sure you check out our Facebook page, Hooking Up and Tracking Down Show, for outdoor information and great product giveaways. This segment presented by Cypress Knee Outdoors, Toledo Bend guide Daryl Gleason, United Rentals, and Steve Nichols Specialty Traco, moving earth and building roads to a better future.
Thank you so much, Jay. Excuse me. And thank you, Billy Phipps. Good grief. Also want to mention Randy Ferris here. He's going to give us a little insight. If you don't think termites can totally demolish everything you own, let Randy talk to you for just a little bit. He has seen some of the worst cases that you could possibly see, and he'll give us here in a little insight how you get proactive on this, how you get ahead of them, and then if you do got them, what you need to do to get rid of all that. Of course, one of the things, you might be doing that yourself. You might have to do some repairs. United Rentals is there for you. For you do-it-yourselfers, United Rentals offers on-site services, repairs for customer-owned equipment. Their own service mobile technician, Dino, will come right there to your location, take care of everything for you. They are a forklift and manlift certification dealer. Call United Rentals of Shreveport, 318-635-6404. Whether you need a ditching machine or you need to rent a tractor, a dozer, a track hoe, backhoe, power washer, you name it, they've got it. The job starts here. United Rentals of Shreveport. They'll be glad to help you out.
All right, Gary, we got some product here I'm going to share with everybody. That's this is our product showcase segment. And I've got a new – have you done any drop shotting yourself?
No, never.
Randy? Never. I know. I knew better than to ask Randy because I know he's a power guy. He's a power guy. All right. So, that being said, this drop shotting has become the technique right now, whether you're FLW Tour, Bassmaster.
Eccles says it works
college,
across lake.
High school, yeah, it's a big technique with high school kids. They love this. This is a hook that you don't have to tie and learn how to tie the hook to the line. It's an actual, you tie it to the swivel itself, and then you've got your drop shot leader that actually hooks into the swivel. So you don't have to learn how to tie the knot, basically, for the drop shot and how to tie the hook. The drop shot is the hook is suspended halfway up the line, and it's turned up. You got to tie it a certain way to make it have that angle on it. This solves your problem. You just tie your line directly to the swivel.
Where can I get that?
Add your drop shot leader.
That's from Gamakatsu.
Gamakatsu. It's called the Finesse Twist Free Swivel Shot Worm. Is what it's called. And
what is that again? Say that again.
Twist Free Swivel Shot Worm.
You were just like me, weren't you, Randy? What language was he talking?
Well, it was designed by Shiniki Fuqua. Okay. FLW Pro.
He said that on the radio.
Exactly. And this is the 1/0 version of the 1/0 hook, and you can use it.
Is that a big one or is that a little one?
This would be considered a big one.
Okay.
That's a big hook.
Okay.
1/0's a big hook. And
for that style of fishing.
For that style of fishing.
Yeah.
And
that's what we brim fish with.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway.
Isn't that right, Randy?
Next thing we got, and I don't know if Randy has these or not, but this is called the Inhibitor. It's a VCI Pro chip. Penetrates and protects environmentally safe, long-lasting protection, economical,
we're talking about fishing. I thought you'd gone into a whole different kind of a show on this.
No scent residue. This stops rust in your terminal tackle box.
Really?
Yes. You take these little tabs, you cut them off.
Let me see that.
And you insert them into your tackle box. You can date them the day you put them in. They last up to a year.
So you lay that down in your tackle box.
Yeah, you just lay it inside your tackle box.
And you can get water all in your tackle box with your terminal tackle.
Yeah.
Hooks aren't going to rust.
Exactly. It's a terminal.
Really?
Yep. It's an inhibitor. It's called Inhibitor.
Now, what about like old? Because nobody hardly fishes with lead anymore. But you probably still got some lead, big weights for Carolina rigs and things like that. Well, that lead will turn like white.
That residue.
That residue.
Yeah.
That stops that too?
I don't know about that.
Okay.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
Okay. I'm just asking.
You're the only guy that's ever asked that question, so I don't know.
Okay.
Well, but this is designed to
I have some old crap.
Put these in your crankbait box.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Keep your crankbait hooked.
Yes.
Yeah,
okay.
That's where I put them. I use them in my crankbait, and I have them in my terminal tackle box. But or
you just buy good hooks.
Or you can do this. You can buy a flambeau box.
Yeah.
That I'm getting all tangled up here.
Yeah.
You buy a flambeau box that's got this built in. These little blue chips. Dividers.
Is that
That's what
made
that
in?
is.
Really?
Yep, they're designed to keep your hooks from rusting inside your tackle box.
Tell me this, Randy.
Flambeau
Farrell.
makes
Tell me
that.
this, Randy.
All right.
You ever used a label maker in your life?
A label maker?
Yeah.
Yeah. You ever use a label maker? Randy?
Not since I was in school.
Thank you. Graf, have you've been in Graf's boat enough?
Yeah.
You open that, everything is marked. What
Oh, yeah.
it is, it's all that. My stuff is all like in the bag from Bayou
Yeah.
or Bass Pro or wherever I went.
He's
to
like
leave
Cole
the town.
Garrett. He's paper bag.
You know,
Yeah,
well, it's
no,
not. No, I got them in Ziplocs.
Okay, you're
stepped up.
Ziploc.
Mine's in Ziploc bag.
Cole Garrett's a paper
Now
bag.
tell me, is your stuff all sorted and that kind of stuff?
Don't let Randy fool you. He's Mr. Organized.
Are
too.
you organized?
It's sorted. I mean, I'll have the same kind of bait in the same box. I don't have to put what color because I can see through it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't want to take time, but I got boxes that whatever it was has been marked out 12 times and there's something new on it. So I'm conscientious about mine.
But do you know why you put the color? Do you know why?
Because if you're colorblind
No.
for
Because
night fishing.
think of all the different companies and all the different names that they name their colors.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Dirty
Yeah.
Sanchez.
Yeah.
Who makes that color?
Well,
nobody.
Only Jay.
Reaction
Jay's got the Dirty
Innovation.
Sanchez.
Yeah,
right
reaction.
I
They're
do
the only
have
one. So,
I-
but anyway, great products.
I've always been so proud of you that you are that organized, but you're the other end of that pendulum.
yeah.
I'm the just throw it in there and I'll find it.
Yeah.
I know about where
Yeah.
it's at.
I've got it hid somewhere. I just got to find it. You're the guy digging in the bottom of the boat for 30 minutes.
I got my buzz baits right down there with my lizards,
Yeah.
just like God intended them.
Well, that's right. And if you have to, you'll fish them together.
And,
That's right.
if he
Amen.
finds a lizard on the floor of the boat, he's hoping it hadn't been messed up where he can't reuse it again.
That's true. That's why you keep a cigarette lighter in the boat.
That's exactly what it's there for.
right,
That's
exactly.
right.
But anyway, great products. I highly encourage. Bayou Outdoors. You can go there, see Big Dave in the back. He's got all these products there. Good place to go.
Now tell me this with Yamakatsu, with the drop shot hook here.
Yeah.
When you tie to this, or do you tie the same? Are you just running the line through this?
No, you're tying the line to that.
Okay.
To that upper part of that swivel.
Okay. Do you change line sizes?
I don't understand what you're.
Well, I mean, are you tying? Is it like a leader? I mean, are you tying a heavier line?
The leader is where your weight hangs.
Okay, so you want a heavy line down there, or no, or a
No,
lighter
not
line?
necessarily. No. The way that's designed, see, it's a slit that's designed, and you just slip your line through there, and if you get hung up, you just lose the weight.
Okay, gotcha.
You don't have to re-rig the whole rig.
Okay.
You just lose your little.
Have you tried that yet?
Oh yeah. I use
Did it work?
Heck yeah, they work. They're great. It's a great product. It's the best. I don't like trying to tie the darn.
Are you
hook on
tying
there.
2 knots on that,
No,
or is
just
it
one
that just
knot.
goes over the line?
No, there's just one line. There's
Oh,
just
okay.
One
So
knot.
you tie one line and you have like a big long tag hanging off
yeah,
of
and
it
you, well,
for your weight to tie on.
yeah, your weight goes on the bottom of it,
Right.
And the weight's got the same kind of slit that this has at the bottom of it. So you
Okay.
just slit your weight on there.
Do you understand what he's talking about?
Yeah, you tie a knot. I mean, you tie your knot to the top.
To the top.
To the
of it,
top.
And then
To
the
the
bottom,
top.
when you just slip it through that
You just
groove.
slip it through and you pull it down and lock it in.
Oh.
There's no knot on the bottom. part.
Okay, I see. All
Even
right, I
with
see.
your weights come with the same kind of attachment as that bottom of that hook.
Okay.
And you just slide the weight in there the same way.
So the only knot tied is
It's
to the
top.
hook.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's
You
it.
could conceivably tie 5 or 6 of them, what I used to do, and put them in the box with the weights on them. And if
Yeah.
you lose one, you just reach in there and get
That-
it.
Just like
You're ready to
Carolina
go.
rigs.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
tie
And
the
again,
same
I
thing
have
up.
the same thing, but mine are labeled. So
Mine are laying in the boat for quick ID.
Hey, sit tight. Man, we're almost at the end of hour 1.
yeah, we got to listen to Randy next.
Exactly. Randy Fair is going to tell us all about these Formosa termites, the big outbreak that is headed north. That's next. Hook it up and track it down. 11:30. The Tiger.
Well, we got one more hour of the greatest outdoors show on the radio. You're listening to the Hooking Up and Tracking Down show. This segment presented by Stingray Line Cutter, Despino and Jim's Big South Tire, and the Red River Waterway Commission, dedicated to recreational and commercial expansion along the Red River system.
And real quick, a new sponsor is back with us again. Candyman Pet Lodge. Owner Wayne Neeson owns a first-class kennel and offers inside and outside facilities. One-on-one dog training is available. Grooming, bathing, special place for man's best friend. Located just west of Greenwood, Louisiana. Give him a call at 903-766-DOGS.
J&J Specialist Randy Farrer in the house. Congratulations, first off, before we start talking business. He and Jeremy won the boat in the Boss Championship here a couple of weeks ago down in Toledo Bend.
Right.
And they got the medal boat. And from what I was told, you guys, I mean, did you have a better first day than a second day?
A lot better first day.
Yeah. You guys were now. I don't know what it was. Did you had a limit by like 7 o'clock that morning? 7:30.
Actually, Jeremy found a starting place, and we pulled up there and caught probably 10, and I caught the fifth weigh fish at 620. Was right at 7 pounds. We had 16 pounds by 620.
Boy, don't you hate starting off like that?
Yeah.
Then you got the whole day to just you just got to worry about
Keep them
color.
alive.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? That is a concern.
You do. You got to babysit them.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was hot, too.
Yeah, it was. Congratulations, brother.
Thank you, man.
No finer guys on the planet and more deserving. Okay, now we got to talk to you about these termites.
All right.
Most people, I think, are a little misled when we think about buying treated lumber nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
We think, oh man, it's termite proof.
Well, it depends on where they get it. It is treated by some places. Some places you get it, the heart of the wood's not treated.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. And but they'll actually use treated lumber to build a tunnel on to get to untreated lumber.
Right.
They may not eat it, but they'll use it.
Yeah. So what's with a big infestation moving in, what would you say is the number one thing that we need to do? Because I mean, you've been with J&J since the very start. You guys started that. When you know that it's that time of the year, what does the general consumer need to do to be proactive to get in front of them?
First of all, they need to be proactive of getting something on their house for preventative, because when most of the people find out they got termites is when they swarm. And if they swarm in the house, there's a 99% chance they're in the wall or somewhere. And that's the way people find out.
Yeah.
They don't know it. The problem is a colony can be active for 3 or 4 years before they get large enough to swarm, so they can actually be in the wall doing damage without swarming and out detected. I mean, until they manifest themselves, visually on the wall somewhere, and they're just in there eating a stud. Nobody knows.
Now
So you got 3 or 4 years of damage and didn't even know it.
Right,
Very possibly.
Now you've got different types of termites, and the Formosa is the ones that right now are really getting bad, aren't they?
Yeah, what we have in North Louisiana mostly is eastern subterranean, which is just termite. We call them native subterranean, but years ago, Formosans came in from Asia, and they have started eating South Louisiana, the Gulf Coast up. Well, it's only a matter of time till they start making their way north. Right now, they're beginning to spread really, really bad in Avoyelles Parish.
Mm-hmm.
They are in Alexandria. There's been some in Natchitoches. They've had them in Monroe. There's been a couple of times here in Shreveport-Bossier area where they have found them. And this termite colony is up to 4 times larger than these other termites. And the characteristic about them is once they're established, they don't have to go back to the ground to get moisture anymore. So conventional liquid treating may or may not take care of it.
So you've got a problem.
If you got them,
If they've gotten there.
If
If I get J&J to come in and treat my place for termites, is that a one-time treatment, or is that you have to come every year and treat that? How does that work?
If you've got termites, we come out and do a complete treatment according to state specs.
Yeah.
And hopefully it takes care of the problem. But it's important to keep the annual renewal up. We'll come back and do an inspection, make sure there's not a problem coming back. The initial treatment should be a one-time thing, depending on what product you use. But it's important. I tell people all the time it's important to keep the coverage because it's like buying a new set of tires and then taking the spare out and leaving it in the garage.
Oh, wow.
Anything can happen.
Yeah.
And the thing I like about J&J, I don't have to keep up on my own personal calendar when I had it renewed. They know. They will call me and say, hey,
It's about
for your
time.
renewal.
About
Yeah.
time for your
We need to come
new
check.
dose.
They just did mine at my house about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So as far as the native colonies, saying that you don't get the Formosa, will the native colony do as much damage as the Formosa?
They can do just as much damage as the Formosan, but it takes about 3 times as long.
Okay.
And do they both leave that dirt trail or that
Yeah.
residue trail?
Yeah. The major difference in Formosan and native subterranean is when Formosan get up in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You treat the ground for native termites and cut their access to the ground off. Well, that cuts their access to moisture off.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the ones in the wall will dry up and die because they have to have that moisture. They have to go back and forth to the ground unless you have a leak in the wall or something.
Mm-hmm.
Formosans will actually go up in the wall and build what they call a carton, which is a nest in the wall, store enough moisture where they don't have to go to the ground anymore. They can they can go up the wall to outside to a gutter and get their moisture, so you can treat the ground with liquid alone, and they eat your house up.
Wow.
That's what's making it so bad.
Let's go to the deer camp or the fishing camp, which
All right.
a lot of people tend to neglect. You don't think about stuff like this. It's off season for deer hunters right now, so they're not even thinking about the deer camp. Piled up wood, firewood next to a deer camp is
a no-no.
Is a
Don't
major
do
no-no.
that.
Now you're opening the buffet.
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
Yep.
Yep.
I've heard that. Yep.
Now tell me, what about a deer stand itself? Probably in all likelihood, you only got 4 treated legs in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Are you possibly in a perilous situation there?
The thing you have to remember, it's like a cedar fence. People say, well, I got a cedar fence. I go out all the time where they beat cedar fences up because that treatment and all that only lasts so long. And it starts wearing down, and then it becomes vulnerable.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that there was a time stamp on that.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of places that had treated lumber in the ground and say, well, that was treated 10 years ago, but it's got a problem now.
So is there a wood, like board arc, is there a wood that they just will avoid? They will avoid it no matter what?
It all goes back to what the termites are eating. They eat a byproduct in wood called cellulose. If a wood is high in cellulose content, then it's a lot more preferable, like white pine. They eat pine up.
That's a softwood.
It's soft, and if you've ever noticed a 2x4 made out of pine where termites eat, it looks like an accordion.
Right.
Well, they're not eating the grain. The grain is low in cellulose because it has rosin.
So they avoid it.
Oh, so they eat between.
They eat between it.
I'll be darned.
Well, a wood like you're talking about, if it's very low in cellulose, then they tend it's not on their palate. But
Wow.
Oak, pecan, pine, all that stuff, they'll eat it up.
So it's kind of like me and a watermelon. I avoid the rind,
Yeah,
but I'm going to eat the heart.
that's right. That's right.
Well, with J&J, now, you guys, you come out. Let's just say that like right now, I'm a brand new customer. I don't know. I don't think I have termites, but you'll come out, you'll do an inspection, and you'll tell me, hey, you don't have them or you do have them.
Right. You come out there, and of course it's based on a visible inspection. And
But you know what you're looking for where I really don't.
Yeah, and construction type has a lot to do with it, too. If you have a house where the brick ledge is below the grade, then termites can get in your wall and you can't see them.
Through those little gaps
holes?
in your brick.
Yeah.
Normally, on a house where the brick goes below the grade, you may not have weep holes. And if you don't, but they don't have to have weep holes to get in the house.
Yeah.
There is a crack between where the brick sits on the slab, and they can come up and go in it. They need a 32nd of an inch to get in.
Good grief. Okay, so is there any construction outside of a cinder block building? Is there any construction they're not going to go into?
Foolproof.
Metal.
Okay.
There you go.
You asked.
All right. Wraps that up.
Build you a metal building, metal studs, you'll be good to go, huh?
But if you have a desk or something or boxes in there, they'll go in there and eat that.
Wow.
Now, let me tell you what happened in my house. Years ago, we had a bay window.
Yeah.
off the back of the house that overlooked the lake by the kitchen.
Yeah.
Well, what the slab was treated when we built the house. We treated the slab.
Mm-hmm.
They got in that wood on the bay window.
Up through the bricks?
They didn't come up through the brick. They just came because it's all wood frame on that bay window.
On the outside?
It has vinyl siding on the outside.
Okay,
of that bay
gotcha.
window. So the interior was all wood. They got up in there, and that's where they came in to the house.
Well, you know what? You consider the tearing out and then reconstruction after a termite infestation. Compare that to a preventative treatment, and it's pennies on the dollar, isn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, there used to be a statistic out there that said a person that don't know they have termites, by the time they swarm, it's an average of $2,000 to $3,000 worth of damage.
Wow.
I saw a house in South Bossier that they got in the bath trap, and $27,000 worth of damage in the bathroom, and homeowners does not cover termite damage.
Really?
It's considered a preventable problem.
Oh, wow.
And the insurance is not going to pay $27,000 to fix something you could have spent $500 and prevented.
Yeah.
That's basically
And that's just good business.
And that's a good point, because bath traps are all dirt underneath your bathtub.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they're coming up under the ground straight into your bathroom.
And
right
part of our treatment is we will cut a hole and access the bath trap and put product in there where they don't come up.
Right.
Huh.
But
So is this, if someone calls J&J right now and they get you or Jeremy, somebody to come take a look, how long of a process is that, just to do the inspection?
it depends on the house. If I have to crawl it, it depends on how big it is. If it's a slab home, you can say 30 or 40 minutes to an hour and a half. Just depends how big it is. And there's things, I've been doing this 31 years, so there's things you immediately look at. But when you leave there, you want to leave confident that if there was something there that was readily visible, then I would have seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Customer answering questions like, I asked them, have you seen anything unusual? And they took me in there to an inside wall, and they said, well, what's all these little spots of dirt here? Well, they had a cracked slab, and they had gotten an interior wall. So customer will see things, and he says, well, I didn't have no idea what that was.
Mm-hmm.
Well, when dirt just starts coming out your wall, that's not normal. So, but
The cracks in your wall, you just think the house is settling.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Randy, tell me this. I mean, because you've lived on Lake Bistineau for 118 years, and you do a lot of homes around Lake Bistineau, and most of those are Acadian-style homes or off the ground and stuff like that. When you go out and do an inspection, especially on the water, are you having to crawl around under those houses looking at floor joists and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah. I crawl under a house.
That's the fun part of this job.
Dude, let me tell you what. I don't want to be under any house
me
near the
neither.
water.
Let me just tell you now, the good thing about it is I do all kinds of pest control, whatever. So when I go in, I'm going to find something. It may not be termites. But there's plenty of spiders. There's a little bit of everything under those houses.
I don't know, man. There's even a possum. I had a buddy of mine one time that had to crawl under,
Skunk.
and a possum fell down on his chest. It had been up there and made a nest or something. Dude.
What the only part that bothers me, I was raised in the country, so I'm not really afraid of things like that. It's when you're crawling under there and you got your crawl suit on, and suddenly you realize there's something inside your crawl suit.
Yeah.
That entertains a whole. Now I'm definitely going to find something because I about had a heart attack.
Okay, somebody wants to get checked for a possible termite issue or to get in front of it right now. What's the best way to get a hold of J&J?
Here in the local area, we have a website that has a number for the state. We cover the whole state. In the Shreveport-Bossier area, you can dial 318-219-3500. Tell them what you're looking for. I do recommend prevention on all of it, especially since the Formosans are coming, because the preventative treatment for Formosans is the same thing. If you call your house to get a preventative treatment for native subterranean, it also includes preventative for Formosan.
And you'll look out like if we got outbuildings like shops and stuff like
we'll
that?
Look at whatever we have to out there to give you peace of mind.
Give me that number again, 318.
318-219-3500.
And what's the website? Is it J&J?
I'm not sure what the website is, but
JandJexterminating.com.
That's what I thought. And you don't put the and sign. You put J-A-N-A-N-D.
Yeah.
J&J.
Spell it out.
Randy Fair, thank you, brother.
That's not a problem at all, guys.
You know we love you.
I know we love y'all too.
You got to spell out J. spell out J&J.
He'll put in J-A-Y, J-A-Y.
Yeah, he just said that.
I know.
On the radio.
right.
And poor little Jay's doing the same thing.
Well, I
Right
don't
now.
want
My
people to get
favorite sponsor we have.
Yeah, buddy.
The only thing better than one J is two of them.
Right.
You
Bring it
go.
up, track it down, 11:30. The Tiger. Hey, thank you for tuning in, hooking up and tracking down 11:30 The Tiger. It's Gary McCoy along with the old Ranger Diowa Pro staffer Steve Graff.
Yo.
We got the bug man himself, J&J Exterminating's Randy Farrer, going to hang out with us a little bit more. And I got to read a letter. Billy Phipps, this is why we love you. He says, I just want to comment on the man behind the scene.
The pizza's why we love him.
The button push. Shut up. Don't say that. You're ruining everything. The button pusher. Billy says, I was an offensive lineman, and we were known as the unsung heroes. This is the category that you are in.
Because he played at McNeese.
Pretend that you have an all-American backfield and two outstanding ends. The ref places the ball for the first down, but there is no center. Two guards are missing. There's no tackles. So how does the quarterback get the ball? First move of a play. If he picks it up, he's going to get clobbered. So there sits Gary, Steve, and Mike. And if you're not there, there is no show.
So he's like the quarterback.
Unsung hero.
We're like the longest yard football team.
No, yeah. There you go.
are truly needed. Thank you, Billy Phipps. Love the show. Enjoy the pizza.
And we have been.
Oh, man.
And that is you,
Billy,
Jay Watley.
You hit a home run on that pizza, Billy.
I'm telling you. Hey, this part of the show is brought to you by Diowa Rods and Reels, Rayburn Country Resort, Seagar Fishing Line, and Bayou Outdoors Supercenter. Carrying the best in bass and ski boats, along with a great selection of campers and motorhomes. Okay, what are we
Also,
doing?
we got Toledo Fiberglass.
Oh, yeah, buddy.
In business for 36 years, Toledo Fiberglass Repair and Restoration, home of the Gorilla Hole with a lifetime warranty, a Humminbird Minn Kota dealer located just west of Toledo Town on Highway 6. To learn more, go to ToledoFiberglass.com.
Okay, Seagar hot topic of the day, 5 mistakes that deer hunters make in the summertime, and 3 things all deer hunters should be doing right now. Now, Randy, you said you already went out. Y'all already put some corn out, but you're not putting corn out for the deer. You're putting the corn out to see how bad your hogs are.
Yeah, we got, we had them under control last year, but I know they've come back. So we kind of put out some corn in the feeders and put out some cameras just to see what we're looking at now, so we can start addressing it.
You know what? That's something that's probably not covered in this topic.
Oh, it's not covered.
But I'm going to tell you right now that honestly, that's something that you're getting ahead of, being proactive, just like you are with the termites. You know, 20 years ago, you never had to assess what your hog population was.
Right.
When I was growing up, I mean, if you saw a wild hog, it was because the old farmer that lived up the road, his hogs got out.
Yeah.
Right.
But we're mistaken. I didn't realize this, but they've had a hog issue down south of Toledo Bend, down south of the dam down there, since the lake flooded. They've had a wild hog population issue for that long,
Wow.
50 years now.
Oh, yeah.
So, you have to consider the fact that, that's got to be taken into what you're doing, I mean,
Yeah.
can you get ahead of them and run them off?
Right.
Well, I know that in the summer last year they were very predictable. You could go down there and look at your camera, and every morning within 30 minutes they came back, and that's how we got shooting. We'd get down there and just set up on the shooting lane, get behind some bushes, and when it got within that 30 minutes, here they come, and we ended up killing 10 of them.
Wow.
And then they disappeared.
But you know what? 10's just a drop in the bucket.
That's true.
Yeah. Okay, what's on the list?
Number 1, placing too much importance on summer scouting. Summer deer behavior is very different than fall deer behavior, and home ranges for bucks can differ dramatically between these two periods as well. That said, if you're setting stands this summer, don't make too many decisions based on fresh summer sign, like beating down summer trails or July camera pics, recent sightings of a nice buck. Summer scouting is fun, but it's not always as relevant as you want it to be.
You know what? My favorite time to scout is right after season's over. The minute the last the last weekend,
Yeah.
then I don't mind going off into the woods and finding out where they were traveling, where those good trails were, and where all the rut sign was and stuff like that. I don't